You are the most important key to the entire equation. You will not be happy. You will not be joyful. You will not have a sustainable financial plan if you don't take this into account. All right, we have this whole issue going around the financial services industry that has to do with the fact that we pigeonhole people into portfolios. And yes, it is the best way to measure it, and it's the best way to help the people at large. But I'm going to challenge you to dig deeper. Here's why. You as a human being, you have two sides to your brain, your right and your left. Your left is the left brain linear. That's the part that anyone who's a CPA, an engineer, anyone who likes anything linear and in place and organized in order, they operate from their left brain, right? That's their dominant side of their brain. But then you have us creative types that are more airy-fairy. They're in the ad agency worlds. They do creative outlets. They're in art or theater. And you might be a combo deal where you may have more of a balanced right or left brain. But here's what I'm here to tell you. The majority of all the financial tools that are out there in the marketplace, they only measure your left brain. And this is why so many people in the world have a huge challenge with managing their money. Why? Because on some level, your right brain is actually coming into play, which is more aligned with your emotions and your heart, whereas your left brain is your mind and your ego. And this is where the disconnect comes. Because most financial systems that are out there only talk to the left brain, the logical brain. And you know what? It's not where the magic is. Our creativity and our innovation is actually all in our right brain. And what we have to do, as one of my mentors, Deirdre Morgan, says, she says, you have to start with your heart and then add your smarts. And when we let the ego mind actually dominate, our left brain linear dominate, at some juncture, something goes awry. Like in my industry, I always talk about that's where compliance problems come from, because you did the right thing for somebody financially, but emotionally you forgot about the human being that you were dealing with. And the human being is the most important part of the entire financial equation. So that's why at my company, JMC Wealth Management, we actually take into account, we have two questionnaires that we work with clients that I'm going to talk to you a little bit about. One actually measures your left brain. So it sees how you left brain logically because you're highly educated and you've done investing before, or you're talking to somebody smart who has done some investing before and they think this is the right answer. And it's a questionnaire that says, okay, based on your understanding and education level, where should your portfolio be and how should you allocate that? No. Remember, you can't do it all in left brain because why? Because the human being is the most important part. So this is where we started years ago and take into account, we have another questionnaire that actually has to do with the right brain. Because I want to see who you are emotionally. I want to see who you are with and aligned with your heart. And what always happens when we have clients take both of these questionnaires, it's really interesting. What they do is they actually tell us that the left brain linear one drove them crazy, or they told me that the right brain one drove them crazy. And the one that you tell me that drives you the most nuts, then I know which one you're dominant in because it's the opposite one that drove you crazy. And that's a lot of information of how you just plug into the world. And I want you to understand the way you plug into the world has no problems. You are perfection. The key is in your financial approach to your world is to actually look at who you actually are in every way, shape possible, 100% authentic you, and then you build your financial structure based on that. And if you do it any other way, you will fail. It's not sustainable because you're not building it around you, the human being. Because on some level, you think you're flawed, particularly my right-brainers out there. You think that you're flawed, and we have all this shame, blame, guilt, and judgment around money because you think you're flawed around your money system. You think you're flawed around your money structure. And I'm here to tell you, you are perfect. You are made in divine perfection to do exactly what it is that you're meant to do in this world. And no two of us are alike. This has nothing to do with race, color, location, what country you're in, what city you're in. It has nothing to do with any of that. It has to do with the fact of what are you here to do in your authenticity, what I like to call letting your freak flag fly, and then build all of your structure around that. Because you matter. You are the most important key to the entire equation. You will not be happy. You will not be joyful. You will not have a sustainable financial plan if you don't take this into account. You have got to find the balance between your right brain and your left brain. You've got to take into alignment, let your heart lead the way, because that's your soul, and then let your smarts follow that. We've got to do this process. In over 25 years of me working with clients one-on-one, this is what I've learned, that we have to take you into the equation. And the majority of my industry doesn't. It's really interesting. My industry thinks of you as like a social security number, date of birth, who are your kids, how old are you, and then boop, 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 this is what you should be. And that might be true. But I find for the majority of people, that is not true. You want to be fiscally efficient as well as take you into account because you matter. Because if I'm hijacking your nervous system because I'm doing the most fiscally smart thing to do, I'm ruining your health because you're worried about things at night. And then it all falls apart. It's not sustainable. If I align it with your spouse, who's a more dominant personality, and you're like a little mouse and you're not taking your voice into account, or you think that you're stupid when it comes to numbers and money, and the other person is smarter with money, so you just turn it all over to them, guess what? It's not sustainable. It'll end in divorce. It'll end in money being all disjointed, or what we like to call sometimes the liar wives in our office. It's the wives that create all this credit card debt. And actually, it's not just wives. Husbands do it too, but we see it more with women than men. They create all this debt. Why? Because their financial plan is not built on who they are as a whole brain person, right and left brain. And they're acting it out in their money. And we always work things out and we act it out through our money, our health, our relationships. So we do not have to get to a point to where we actually act these things out and create destruction in our lives financially or otherwise. Because when we act them out, what we do is we create what I call leaky containers. And those leaky containers, those holes get bigger and bigger and bigger the longer you wait to align your money with who you actually are. Down to the things you invest in, how much you invest, how much you put in the savings account, how much you put in your mattress or safe at home. There's all different ways to do things. There's no right or wrong way. It's about what are you trying to accomplish, what maximizes financial efficiency while also maximizing your health and wellness and your joy and your happiness in life, which creates more. So just take into account your right and left brain. It's so important. I cannot tell you how important that is because that is who you are. You are not just one side of your brain. You are both sides. And that brain actually needs to follow your heart. Do you want to experience free coaching based on my 25 plus years as being a financial planner and ask me any question that you want to ask me to help you get past that hurdle in your financial world? I run these free workshops every other month to start to open you up to start to help you get to this next place. The information for my free workshop, click the link below and register, and I'll see you on the next workshop. Don't forget to hit that notification bell and like and subscribe to the channel. Why? Because then you can get more knowledge all the time and be a part of a community that's actually going to lift you up.